there's a quiz you have on your website, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. It takes about 5 minutes.
It's a fun quiz, isn't it?
It's very fun. I want everybody to take it. And it takes about 5 minutes. And it revealed to me, so we're going to put me on the stand here and have and learn something.
Under the microscope, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. But before we do that, I want you to explain why that when we ignore, when we neglect our five senses, that it does lead to unhappiness. Play that out for us.
Well, I think some people are really good at tuning into their five senses, but then there are other people that are like me, where we get very much up in our heads. We can get very distracted. I mean, I always kind of treated my body like the car that my brain was driving around town. And there's so much energy and connection, and there's so much value in connecting to the world through our five senses. It's so satisfying to us. And so one of the things that I found is that for people who neglected many of their senses, or most of us have one sense that we neglect the most, like re-engaging with that sense is a way to really tangibly and like within our own power, bring it back into our life. And here's the funny thing about the five senses. What I was surprised when I was writing my book, Life in Five Senses, is that with almost anything that you were trying to do to make yourself happier, there are ways to use your five senses to do that. For instance, you want to calm down, or maybe you want to pump yourself up, or maybe you want to like be able to sit down and do the drudge work, or maybe you want to think expansively and creatively, or maybe you want to connect with other people, or maybe you want to have more novelty and adventure. Whatever you're trying to do, there's a way that you can use your five senses to do it. And because we know our five senses, if I said to you, hey, Ken, just brainstorm with me. Let's talk about how could you use your sense of hearing to calm down? Okay, how could you use your sense of hearing to give yourself energy? Okay, how could you use your sense of energy to help you focus and power through hard drudge work? You would be able to think of ideas like that because we know the five senses, but often we don't think about it. We often just forget about the fact that like we have to take our bodies into account as we're thinking about our life and our happiness.
We're going to get you right back to our conversation, but first, when you are chasing your dreams, don't let bad sleep hold you back. Avocado Green Mattress has customizable options based on your sleep style, and they make their mattresses with certified organic materials for clean, breathable comfort that helps you stay cooler and sleep deeper throughout the night. All so that you can wake up rested and show up ready to win the day. I love my Avocado Green Mattress, and I want you to head to avocadogreenmattress.com/Ken for $50 off with the code KEN50. Avocado, dream of better. Yeah, we don't teach this. I mean, until I saw your work on this, we don't think about this. And when we think so much about mental health, it's become such a buzz phrase. But the idea that we were given these senses and they're wonderful and they obviously can cause pain. But I don't think we think about it in terms of personal growth or the ability to regulate the ups and downs of life. So I took the quiz and I really went into it open-minded, didn't try to think through the sense. I just answered the questions. And my report said that the most neglected sense is hearing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so I started to think through that after getting the answer, and it gave me some great suggestions. I want you to give me suggestions. So you hear that and you go, okay, Ken, coach me up on that.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the neglected sense is that most of us have senses that we really appreciate. Now, you said what your most appreciated sense is, so tell everybody what your most appreciated. Taste.
Okay. Yeah, no question.
Yeah. So, and the thing about when we appreciate a sense is like, we're already doing that work. We turn to it for comfort and pleasure. We use it as a source of learning and adventure. We use it to connect with other people. We use it to like help us like be productive and creative because we appreciate it. The reason why it's good to know your neglected sense, why the quiz points out your neglected sense, is because that's where there's low-hanging fruit. Because since you neglect it, you're not turning to it. So I might say to you like, hey, maybe a fun thing for you to do with somebody as like an adventure to connect with somebody else is go to a sound bath or go to a concert Or maybe make yourself the aim of listening to some new music every month. Or maybe you want to think about how the scents might be bringing you down. Like, are there annoying sounds in your environment, like notifications on your phone? Or is there like a creaky desk chair that is just sort of on the edges of your mind, bugging you and making you irritable? Or do you have a really ugly alarm sound on your phone where instead of you could take 1 second and make it into some kind of more melodious sound? Do you need to have something so that you have white noise to help you sleep? Like, once you start thinking, okay, what might I do to bring the sense of hearing into my life in a bigger way? None of that stuff takes money, and none of it takes much time and energy, and a lot of it would be fun.
Is there a reason for that? Is it my past? Is it because I am overindulging the other senses? So this is a lack of awareness, and now that's why we do this? Give me a little bit more on that, why that was the most neglected. I probably wouldn't have guessed that if you'd have asked me beforehand, but I answered the questions honestly, and boom, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's probably all that. It's probably partly your nature and your temperament, partly like your upbringing.
Okay.
Like a person who grew up in a house where people were constantly playing instruments and playing music or singing, speaking multiple languages. That might be a factor. So there's probably a lot of things that go into it.
Okay.
I'll say like my sister and I are very much alike, and like we have the same neglected sense, and which is taste. So it makes sense. Whenever we're together, we like go to a diner and eat like a burger. Somebody said to us once, like, oh, you're going to the city together. You're going to go to like a great restaurant. And we were like, truly, that had never crossed our minds.
So why do you think that is, that you guys just go for the basic? Is it?
Well, I also think some of it's genetics. It's probably family culture, general culture. I think that there's a lot of things that could go into it. But something like this, I think some things are inborn, like with my 4 tendencies framework, which is another quiz that I have. I do think that one is sort of genetically determined. I think that when you're born. But with this, I could see that over time, maybe somebody would neglect one sense at one time of their life, and then at another time, it might be another sense. For example, touch, it might be that at a time when you had young children, you might feel, oh, I'm really appreciating the sense of touch. I'm cuddling, I'm holding, I'm lifting, I'm brushing hair. I've got this young family. I'm holding, the hand of my spouse, like touch, touch, touch. I'm getting a massage because I need to like relax after all of this like family chaos that I'm dealing with. But then it could be at a different point of your life, like you're feeling like, oh, I don't have touch in my life. I'm not using that. Maybe I need to like bring that into my life now in a way. So maybe I get a dog and now I'm petting my dog all the time because I miss this sense of touch that I had at one time. Yeah. Now I'm bringing it in at another time. So I think it could change over time. And probably there's many reasons that you're experiencing whatever it is you neglect.
Is the takeaway here, so that we're healthier and happier people, to be in tune with how much are we engaging with all of our senses in a intentional way? Is that our takeaway here from this?
Absolutely. It always comes back to intention, right? In the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like the least intentional person. I have to work in it constantly. I think it's really thinking about this aspect of our life, because I think sometimes people, they'll do all kinds of things to try to make themselves happier, but they'll get 4 hours of sleep a night. And I'm just like, okay, you got to start with the basics. Mm-hmm. And I think starting with our body is it just feels very grounded. And here's the funny thing. And this is part of what I noticed. So I wrote a book called Happier at Home. And when I would go on a book tour, I would pass little vials of scent, not perfume, but just like weird, like scents. Like one smelled like a flower growing in a garden. It didn't smell like a flower. It smelled like you could really smell the dirt and the heat. It was anyway. And people loved it so much. They were so energized by this smell. And I'm like, by the way, guys, you can just go home and like open up a bottle of like, vanilla, and you will enjoy yourself tremendously. But they just never thought about it until I was like, here we are, you're sitting in the audience. I'm going to pass a vial of smell to you. You're going to wait for it. Then you're going to smell it. You're going to have this intense experience, really notice it. And again, with that intention came all kinds of people would be laughing and talking. It's just like, this is such an ordinary thing. But here's another example. Heinz ketchup. Okay, how many of us have Heinz ketchup in the fridge? Like in the United States, like a giant percentage of people have Heinz ketchup in the fridge. Yeah. The thing about Heinz ketchup is that it is all 5 of the basic tastes. It's sweet, it's sour, it's bitter, it's salty, and it's umami. all in one. That is really, really hard to do, especially for something that's not like a combo. Like it's not apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese or, a margarita with salt. It's just one thing, but it's all 5. And if you tell people, hey, just put a dab of Heinz ketchup on your tongue, really notice it. They can't believe their mouths, how rich, sophisticated it is. It's just, your mouth is on fire with excitement because there's so much happening there. And you're like, of course, this makes perfect sense why it's an ingredient in so many foods where you don't expect to find it a lot of times. And like kids put it on everything. And it's just because it's truly something special. And our bodies are like, they just... But then when you know that, it's like, I've never felt the same way about Heinz ketchup since. Like I revere it now, And so knowing this about our bodies, tapping into it, paying attention, there's so much to be gained from it.